Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a while. That's because my life got very busy and it's about to get more busy because I'm pregnant. I can't believe it. I'm actually 31 weeks pregnant now, so baby boy is on his way, shortly, sort of. We'll see. But a lot of people have been asking me about my registry, and I personally love consuming this kind of content, and so I thought, what better way to make a comeback to YouTube than to enter my mommy era? And so today I'm going to share with you what's on my registry. And the nice thing about sharing what's on my registry is that I actually already had 2 baby showers, one with all my friends, one with all my family. Everything that I think people were planning to gift us has been gifted to us. So I can also share how much actually got purchased off my registry, which I think is sometimes helpful because some registries are huge, and if you're like me, mine was pretty minimal, I think. But without further ado, here's my registry. Feel free to roast it in the comments, or if you're a mom and you're like, you're gonna want this, let me know. So I'm gonna go through sort of category by category. I'm also gonna include a tally up top of what was purchased off my registry by someone else, what I ended up purchasing for myself, and maybe what hasn't been purchased yet. First category is bath time. First thing on my registry was a baby bath thermometer. First of all, I didn't know whether we were having a boy or girl when I put this on there, and so I was trying to find a gender neutral one. This one's actually quite cute, and it's a lot smaller than I was anticipating in real life. This did get purchased off my registry. I put this on there just so I can be safe, and I'm glad it's really small. I don't want to be, boiling my baby. Next up was this baby care set from Rocky Mountain Soap. So it comes with a small version of the baby bum cream, a baby butter, that's that stick, and a baby foaming wash. Great way to try out the products, see what I like. Doesn't take up a lot of room. I really wanted to try and do some more natural products. The amazing thing is Rocky Mountain Soap is also a local company, and this was a great way to sort of like test some of the products I was wanting to try and get into it that way. That was gifted off of my registry. In that same vein, I also got some natural shampoo from Rocky Mountain Soap Co. That was gifted to us. And the funny thing is, after I received it, I was like, wait, what if the baby doesn't have hair? So, at some point he's gonna have hair. My husband actually has a lot of hair. I have way more hair since getting off birth control years ago. So maybe baby will come out with some hair. I also heard the old wives' tale that if you have heartburn, baby's supposed to have hair. And I have had a little bit of heartburn. Next up, I did have the Frida Baby cradle cap scrubber thingy on my registry. So that was not purchased, and I later saw someone else on TikTok share that they got it, and after the first use, the little sponge came right off. And so I'm kind of glad that wasn't purchased. It seems like helpful because obviously I'll want to take care of cradle cap, but I think I'm just gonna use those like silicone scrubby things because I already have some of those. It should do a very similar job. And if you're a girl, you probably have some of them lying around too. Lastly, for bath time, I included this really beautiful towel set from Bena. I just thought it was so cute. I love a checkered moment. I've been loving pops of red, obviously. I knew putting on that it was very bougie, and so I wasn't actually anticipating anyone would buy it, but you never know. People can be very generous around your registry, and I know that one, it was definitely like an unnecessary splurge. So that has not been purchased, but what I did purchase instead is a mushy towel just from West Coast Kids. It's 100% organic cotton, so very similar vibes. That's all I put on my registry for bath time. You're probably noticing that I didn't include a baby bath, which a lot of people mentioned to me. They're like, how are you gonna bathe your baby? And I'm like, in the water with my hands. So the reason I didn't include a baby bath on there is because I noticed a lot of them take up a lot of room. We live in 670 square feet and we don't plan on moving, and it is really such a short time. And I think for anyone, you do have to sort of negotiate in your head what is worth it for a short amount of time for you and what isn't. I talked to a bunch of friends, and some of them just end up bathing with their babies in the tub together. So you sort of use your legs like a bathtub. I think that's really special. It's such a beautiful bonding time. Obviously free and takes up way less room. So the next category is books. This was an interesting one to add to the registry because I wasn't sure when I was making it if my friends were gonna ask the other friends who were coming to sign a book instead of a card, or my sister who planned my other shower to do the same thing with the family. Or sometimes if you were like, oh, I have $50 to spend for this person's registry for this shower, I'll buy this $40 item and throw in the like $8 book. I kind of put the books on there as like a filler, and I did vet them really, really well. But a lot of the books were vetted by speech pathologists and books that I noticed kids really loved in my time in Montessori. And so I really obviously got blessed with books. A bunch of Davey's aunts and his grandma went in and stocked baby boy's library essentially, which is amazing, and I'm so grateful because obviously I wanted those books. However, after I saw a bunch of them get purchased, I was like, wait, there's other stuff on my registry that is like more priority for me. And so I ended up privating a bunch of the books. That's something I would recommend if you're building your registry, is either find a website where you can prioritize the things you want, or maybe add things that you are like, this would be nice later after you've seen like some of your priority items get purchased. The one book that has not been purchased is this family album book. We just have family all over, and I really want our baby to know their immediate family. You know, those people are really important to us, and that facial recognition and real people faces are very important for their development. So why not make it family? I'll probably be purchasing and making that one. Moving on to the next category, which is breastfeeding supplies. So this one is an interesting one because I do think it can be kind of vulnerable to put personal, intimate objects on a registry for all your friends and family to see. So again, that's something that I think you sort of have to gauge how much you're willing to be vulnerable. Let's get into what's on there. First up is this breast milk storage supply thing. The reason I like it is because you can put the breast milk pouch on top, it'll freeze flat, and then you put it in the bottom. Again, we live in 670 square feet. Our freezer's small. We do not have a deep freeze. That's kind of like the supply we'll be able to keep. I just wanted it to take up as little storage as possible in the freezer. And that was not purchased off my registry. I purchased it myself. Next up is some breast milk storage bags. So it comes in a box of 100. I have no idea how much I'll be able to pump, what my supply will be like, if that's too much, too little. I'm starting with one, and I purchased that myself. While we're on the topic of Medela, this is the breast pump I ended up purchasing. I did a little bit of research. I don't think it was like my most researched baby item by any means. I really wanted it to be portable. I wanted it to be easy to clean, and I really wanted it to be healthy for your nipples. Through my research, I discovered that some of them, the way they extract the breast milk, it's essentially like it could harm your supply. And I've never breastfed before, so I have no idea what my supply might be like. So I just wanted to do it as like ergonomic as possible, and that one was highly recommended by some lactation consultants, and that's why I ended up going with that one. I bought that myself. The nice thing is, here's another little tip for you. If you are going to be pregnant over Black Friday, you should save a bunch of your purchases, your big purchases. I saved so much money because of Black Friday, but I think my pump was like $100 off. Speaking of breast pump stuff, I also got the Haka. It's like a manual pump, but also a letdown pump. So while you're breastfeeding, you can put it on the other side and it'll collect any letdown, which you can store. Someone did gift this to me, and I don't know if it came with the Ladybug attachment, but I heard the Ladybug is a little bit more gentle than the like suction one. And then I was highly advised to put some nipple balm on there. So there's some nipple balm. I just chose this one. That was purchased off my registry. I did have the Silverettes on my registry, but my sister-in-law kindly gifted me hers. But you can't use nipple balm with the Silverettes, but they're sort of supposed to do the same thing, just offer some relief for sore nipples. Speaking of leaking, I also got some nursing pads, reusable, washable, for leaking that I think you should shove in your bra. The reusable ones were on my registry and were purchased. Lastly, the thing in breastfeeding supplies that I got was a ton of burp cloths. So this was on my registry, someone purchased it. I was told these are very, very useful. One more thing on my breastfeeding supplies list was actually the Haka lid, so you can stick the letdown catcher straight in the fridge. You just put the lid on and then it won't spill. Someone did gift this to me. All right, moving on to diapering. Obviously, changing diapers is like a big chunk of newborn life. They're either sleeping, eating, or pooping is what I'm told. Diapering is a huge part of their life, but funny thing is, it's a very small part of my registry. The big item on there is the Kikuru peanut changer. This is the one I feel like everyone loves. everyone recommends, and I just cannot believe that it's $200. And obviously I wanted the beige one. I ended up taking this off my registry because I found it for half price on Facebook. Another big tip is shop secondhand for some of those items. People are always getting rid of them as their kids age out. Found the one I wanted in the color I wanted for half off. I also got this wipes dispenser, so you can put some wipes in there. It makes it a little smaller to travel with. That was gifted off my registry as well. Now you'll notice there's no diapers on my registry. It's a long story, but basically I got a year's worth of diapers for free. But obviously that's a rare circumstance. What you could do is your husband could have a diaper party and people could bring you a box of whatever size you need, or you could put it on your registry for your baby shower as well. The next category is feeding. This one is interesting because I think there's like a little bit of crossover with breastfeeding supplies. I don't know, I'm a bit type A when it comes to this stuff, but whatever. Feeding, here we go. So first up, I did a lot of research about baby bottles. There were some criteria I wanted to meet. What I really wanted was for it to be glass. I wanted it to be easy to clean, and I wanted the nipple shape to be appropriate for the baby. If it doesn't resemble an actual human nipple, it's a lot harder for them to learn to feed, and the swap between breastfeeding and bottle feeding can be really challenging. So just something to keep in mind. But I ended up going with these ones, and I just got a 4-pack. There's 2 small bottles and 2 larger size bottles, and you can change the nipple size as they grow. And this was purchased off my registry. Next, we've got soothers. Obviously, they're not actually getting any nutrition from a soother, but I don't know, there was nipples involved, so I said feeding. I got the Philips Avent ones. Again, that nipple shape is important. This one met the criteria, and I was gifted a bunch of these off my registry, more than what was actually on my registry, which is probably great because I hear you lose them all the time. Next up, I got the Snuggle Me breastfeeding pillow. Breastfeeding pillows are also one of those items that a lot of people say you don't need. A lot of people will say you absolutely have to have it. I made the call that I put it on my registry, someone purchased it for me, and I really like it because flipped up, it just kind of looks like a moon, which I think is cute, so it can just be a pillow. But I've heard it's very helpful for arm support if they're feeding for really long increments. If you have someone who wants to hold the baby who is maybe like not that strong, like a toddler, an elderly grandparent, or whatever, they just want a little extra support, anyone can use it to just hold the baby up. I'm excited to use it. Next up, we've got a few little things in feeding still that are more for starting solids. These things are items that I was really excited about because I have a background in nutrition for pregnancy, postpartum, and babies, and so I'm excited to get to my baby-led weaning journey. However, it's literally like a year from when my shower happened, and so a lot of these things I just have to store for a long time. I'm really grateful to have them for when that time comes because I'm sure it'll feel fast in the moment. But this is something that I would recommend either maybe putting like less of on your registry or just sort of saving to buy when your baby turns 6 months and is ready for that step. But I'm really excited about some of them, so let's get into it. First up is this little like popsicle creator. And so this can actually be used earlier because you can make breast milk popsicles out of it and then use that for teething. So that one's great to have earlier. And then as they get into solids, it's a great way to introduce purees. That was gifted off my registry as well. With purees, I also put these Haka reusable pouches on my registry. Again, you can make your own purees and then put them in there as a to-go snack, which is like better for the environment. And then obviously you're in control of the food that's going into their body. The silicone pouches were purchased for me. I also put this little to-go container on here because 1, I think it's cute, and 2, I really want to be that mom that's really good about bringing whole food snacks around for my kid. This was purchased off my registry. Lastly, for feeding, I want to throw in the Stoke Trip Trap high chair here. I got really lucky. My mother-in-law purchased one secondhand for me, and it's actually going to go great with our place. And then I purchased the newborn attachment for it. So that'll sort of operate as our Snuggle Me lounger that a lot of people recommend. It's insanely expensive. I do not know why, but I'm really grateful that I got it. This next category is kind of boring, but obviously important. I just am calling it first aid and safety. So let's try and blitz through this one. First up, this Baby Move humidifier. Obviously babies are coming out of a very wet environment, and I live in Alberta, which is a very dry environment. So that'll be great to have for newborn life and also for me because I'm really feeling dry these days. That was not purchased off my registry, but I did get it on Boxing Day. So again, around sale season, if you know you're pregnant, you're gonna want some of these things, do it. Next up is a baby monitor. Honestly, we did so much research about this. Why are they named so weird? Why are they so expensive? Why don't they charge with USB-C? Why is the camera quality so crappy? I really have a bone to pick with baby monitor companies. However, we ended up choosing this one because it has a screen, so if you don't want to use Wi-Fi, you can do that. When we are out and someone else is watching the baby, we can log in on an app on our phone, which is something we want to do. You can travel with it. So that was purchased off our registry. Next, I got the Haka electric baby file. Again, some people are like, you don't need it, just rip it with your hands. Just seemed easier. Was gifted off my registry. Next up, I got the Haka silicone nasal aspirator. Suck those boogies up. I know lots of people recommend the Frida Mom one. I don't know, that just seemed gross to me, so this one, my mouth is staying away from it. Got it off my registry. I also got the Frida baby Medi pacifier thing, so you can actually put baby medicine in the syringe and then it's like a pacifier that goes in their mouth. Will be really nice if we ever need to dispense medication, but fingers crossed, knock on wood, we never have to do that. That was purchased off our registry. Lastly, I got a touchless thermometer. I just know with babies, you're always concerned, and if you call HealthLink, they're gonna be like, what's your baby's temperature? And if I don't know, I'm not gonna be any help to my baby. Touchless thermometer. And that was gifted off our registry. All right, the next section is on the go, which I sort of categorized as anything that we need to leave the house, which mostly includes a lot of gear, but some other things that makes leaving the house a little easier. This was probably my most researched category because car seat and stroller was super, super important to me. I was in a really bad car accident almost 4 years ago now. It's been like 3.5 years. So just know that I went into this with a lot of thought. So if you're looking for a well-researched gear option, this is it. So the car seat I chose is the Cybex Atten G sensor safe, and then it comes with a swivel base. Now when I was shopping, they actually discontinued the one that doesn't have a swivel base, which was obviously a little bit cheaper, but lots and lots of people, when I told them it had a swivel base, were like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. It makes it so much easier. When we went to test out the car seats in the store, I really liked it, so we ended up choosing it. We purchased that ourselves. To go with our Cybex car seat, I ended up choosing the Gazelle S stroller, also from Cybex. I love that it easily converts into a 2-seater stroller. You can do front to back. It's not side by side. I loved how it moved around. I love how it looked. I did purchase that at West Coast Kids. They were having a sale. It was 30% off. Again, Black Friday, people. You gotta look for it. So I'm very grateful we were able to save money there, but you do buy the bassinet separately. So if you feel like you are not gonna be able to use the bassinet attachment for your stroller, or you don't want it, or you want to save money, this is a great way to do that because you have to buy it separately. This was gifted at our baby shower, which was super kind, and I know that they were also able to save money on it because of Black Friday. It was $100 off. The next one is a bit of a splurge, and it's a baby carrier. You probably guessed it. It's the Artipop. This was actually my first baby purchase after finding out I was pregnant. I saw it on Facebook. I went and purchased it. It was literally brand new in box. I was able to save money on it, and I'm so grateful I got it. It is insanely expensive, and I know that. Like, it's wild. Obviously, everyone has a code to share, so you can get money off. They really do hold their value. I've realized there is like a very strange cult following with the Artipop. Everyone says it's worth it, and if not, you can resell it very easily. Some other baby carriers I do recommend that are similar would be the Wild Bird. If I had more money to spend on the baby, I would be purchasing a second one from there probably. I did purchase myself a Solly baby wrap. You can use that one from birth. You cannot use the Artipop one from birth, even though it says you can, just for the safety of their hips. I'm excited to try out both. And then I'm gonna throw this one in the gear as well, but I did get the Charlie Crane rocker. So lots of people love the baby Bjorn one. I like the Charlie Crane one. We'll see how it goes. That was something I purchased for myself off Facebook as well. Shout out to my friend Michaela in Kelowna who picked it up for me and stored it for me for months until it could get to Calgary. Now, as for a diaper bag, I did not put a diaper bag on my registry because they're really ugly and really expensive, and I don't get it. So instead, I did put this Olend soft bag on my registry. It's not meant to be used as a diaper bag. However, it is wipeable. You can change it from like an over-the-shoulder tote bag style to a backpack if you want. I think it'll fit everything we need because I do not understand why you need to walk around with so much baby gear. I do not want to haul that much stuff. So I know I'm gonna have to haul more than just my phone and my keys and my wallet like I have been. I want to look chic while doing it. So that's what I chose. And I did get this gifted off of my Registry. I also put this CalPack stroller caddy on the Registry. It's a lot smaller. It just sort of like straps onto your handles, or you could throw it in the basket at the bottom. And I purchased that myself. I also purchased this CalPack diaper changing thing. So it rolls out into a diaper changing mat. It has a section for wipes and it has a zipper pocket for some storage things. So if we're just heading somewhere short, I think I might just grab that. Sounds very convenient. Speaking of Artipop, I also put the winter insert on my Registry because I live in Canada, people, in Alberta. It is winter a lot of the year. I don't know if this will end up being worth it. I purchased it, but again, I purchased it off of Facebook, so I saved money. I just want to be warm and bundled and cozy, and I think it looks really cute when the baby's in there. Sue me. I also heard incredible things about the Missy Mouth's stain remover. That was purchased off of my Registry, and that'll be in one of the diaper bags for on the go for stains. And then finally, a stroller fan. We heard from friends who had a summer baby that was just a lifesaver to have. We were gifted a stroller fan. Next up, we've got sleepy time. Obviously, one of the major parts of a baby's life. Again, eat, sleep, poop. The first item, I didn't actually put it on my Registry because my parents made it very known that that's what they wanted to purchase for me. We ended up choosing the Nest Egg Wave crib in the natural color. The nice thing is it goes from a mini crib to a full-size crib to a toddler bed. So it is a splurge up front. However, I feel like if you're gonna do a bedside bassinet and then a crib and then a toddler bed as all separate purchases, it kind of ends up working out the same. And again, we live in a small apartment. I don't want to store anything. In that vein, I ended up choosing 2 mini crib sheets that were both purchased off of my Registry. Then I did put this very cute baby blanket on there. It's the only one I put on my Registry. My baby is coming in the winter, so I know that a blanket will be necessary, and I just thought it was really cute. It is a bit of a splurge, and so again, I wasn't anticipating someone to buy it for me, but my sister-in-law did buy it for me. She's an Enneagram 9, so if you know, you know. Then I heard amazing things about the Halo sleep swaddle sack. It's like the Velcro one that you do up. I got one of those. And then once baby doesn't have to have their arms close to them, I'm gonna switch to the wild bird carrier. I did have this on my Registry, no one purchased it for me, but then a friend who has an older baby outgrew that size, so I got it secondhand. Okay, the next category is toys. I didn't put a ton of things on here, and this was a category I sort of added last minute as well, so that's maybe also why less things got purchased off of here. I'll just quickly show you some things that I'm really excited about. There's these silicone straps that you can attach to a stroller, to a car seat, to whatever, and attach any toy to it. That's great. I added a couple of teething toys. You know, they're gonna teeth. That'll be helpful. I also put these stroller cards on there, and I put 2 different kinds on. One was purchased, one was not. And then I did get one of those wooden play gyms that sort of just sit over them when they're laying down and they can look up at the toys. That was gifted off my Registry. I did put these really cool black and white high contrast flashcards on there. I think they're really awesome, but in one of the books I received, Art for Baby, they have ones in the back that you can take out and use, which I didn't know, so that's great. And then lastly, like I mentioned, I live in Canada, so I had a winter essentials section. I did put these little Ugg booties on there because they're so cute, but also I just wanted to make sure that baby's feet were gonna stay warm. We left the house and it was a little bit chillier. And then the thing I'm most excited about is this Bini Bomba. It's a European brand. It's 100% merino wool, and it's a little onesie. It has the cuffs to go over their hands and their feet so that if they're wearing shoes or if they're wearing mitts, you can roll them up or not, or extra layer. And my sister-in-law gifted me that, so I'm very excited. And then lastly, I did have a larger size of the Desana boiled wool onesie. I've heard amazing things about them. It is a little bit pricier, so I was hoping to have one for later. That was something I felt like I could store. No one purchased it for me, so I'm tempted to buy it now while the color is in stock. I think I'll just worry about it the winter after. That's my baby Registry, so I hope you liked it. Feel free to roast me in the comments. Let me know if you think I forgot something. I'd love to chat with you about it. Thank you for the welcome back to YouTube. At least I hope it'll be a warm welcome back to YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment,